All right, so we have made our list. We've made our action steps, our actions, our 2 actions that we know we've been avoiding, but we know they're going to make a big impact. Okay, so if we have this really exciting, like passionate goal that we're working towards in one side, and we have these 2 action steps that we know to do consistently to reach the goal, well, why haven't we reached it? Or why are we not doing it consistently? Well, there are a couple of reasons why goals are not met. And then this is the topic of training, okay? Because Tammy Craig learned that everything we do as human beings, we do for one of 2 reasons. One, to avoid pain, or 2, to gain pleasure. So avoiding pain or gaining pleasure is the topic of tonight's training. So I don't want you guys to forget that. Everything we do as humans, we either do it to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. All right. So why do we brush our teeth? Well, maybe some of both to avoid the pain of bad teeth, but the pleasure of having a clean, fresh breath. Why do we eat? To avoid the pain of being hungry. Why did you all come to training tonight? To gain pleasure, to grow your business, to hopefully take away some nuggets. Why don't we put our hand on a burning stove? Well, to avoid pain. Okay. Point proven. Everything that we do, we either put it through the filter of avoiding pain or gaining pleasure. So back to our goals and dreams. All right. Here's the kicker for tonight. You've been avoiding the action, these 2 action steps. You've been avoiding these because you've associated more pain with doing the work than the pleasure of achieving the dream. That right there. That is the key. That is where that tension is. I'll say that again. You've been avoiding the action because you've associated more pain with doing the work you need to do than the pleasure, the end result of actually achieving your dream. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to end tonight with this Debbie Downer message, okay? Because we're going to work together to change this, all right? And the key is to start associating more pleasure with the action steps that you're going to achieve your goals, okay? So before you go to bed tonight, we have a couple of tasks. I have a couple of tasks. I didn't tell y'all, the directors, but hey, a couple of assignments. Directors are going to report back to you, okay? And if it's different time zone, it doesn't happen tonight, okay, by tomorrow night, I'll give you 24 hours. So one of the things I do want you to do right now is to acknowledge that the pain associated with these tasks, maybe it's a booking call, maybe, let's see, what else did we have? Well, regardless of what it was, whatever that action was, acknowledging the pain associated with the task is going to help you move forward. So maybe you're a full-time working mom. You work all day, you get home and you want to spend time with your family. So maybe it's the mom guilt of spending time away from your kids or your family that's keeping you from going to do those booking calls. Okay. Maybe it is the pain of, well, someone's told me no before. Like, I don't want that to happen again. So why would I ask someone to do a Pearl chat or to share this opportunity with them? They're just going to tell me no. Now, we can't necessarily collectively all acknowledge the pain associated with each of these tasks because it's going to be different for everyone. Everyone's family situation, work, life, everything is different. Okay. So this is just something for you to do later on your own. You don't have to report this part to your director. It's something else you're going to have to do. But if you want to share with her, I'm sure she'd be more than happy to help you work through that. But I want to ask you this question. What pleasures have you gained by avoiding those actions? I can guarantee almost every single one of you is going to say none. It's kind of a trick question. Maybe you have beat yourself up over and over. You feel bad for yourself for not completing those actions. So what? Someone came in after you and they achieved a red jacket before you, or they finished quarter sales before you did. There's no pleasure in avoiding those action steps. So let's get to the pleasure. That's a lot more that's more fun to talk about. So we're going to take the next 60 seconds. All right, here's your paper, right? Get your paper ready. So what you're going to do is you are going to visualize and put on paper the pleasures of achieving your goal, achieving that dream, having it come to fruition. Okay, so start writing this down. What is this dream, this vision going to do for you and your kids, for your family, for your husband, for maybe your parents? What will achieving that goal bring pleasure? Okay. And there's nothing wrong to write down whatever comes to mind. Would your husband be able to quit his extra job? Maybe he's working 2 or 3 jobs. Would you be able to quit an extra job? Maybe you would be able to remodel that kitchen finally. Maybe you'd be able to take that trip to Disney. Would you be able to maybe pay for your parents to have a vacation to give back to them? Would you be able to replace the income of your current job and or your husband's? What will your husband say to you at your red jacket debut? When you earn your first car, when you earn a diamond ring and profit 20,000 for your family this seminar year? What about a director debut if that's your dream? What will your spouse say to you? What will your kids say to you? How would you feel about yourself when you accomplish this dream that you have written down on your piece of paper? How would your parents feel? How would your kids feel? All right, keep writing, keep writing. What is all coming to mind? Right? Keep writing down the pleasures of like visualizing the excitement. Are you going to have special cookies decorated a certain way? That's a fun pleasure, or a special treat. Will you have extra friends and family come to town to celebrate this goal? Will you get to walk across the seminar stage? And some of you don't even know what that is because you're so brand new. But that's when we go to Dallas, Texas every summer, and Mary Kay, the company, recognizes us, celebrates us. We get to dress up in ball grounds and walk across stage feeling like princesses for simply doing our work with our Mary Kay businesses, sharing the opportunity, selling the product. Okay, now you can pause for now, but this is your assignment for tonight, is to write at least 50 pleasures that are going to come from you achieving your goal and dream. At least 50, okay? Now, they're going to get pretty juicy by like 35. That's like where it really starts to come out, what you get really excited about. And the most important ones come even towards the end, the real reasons deep inside why you want to achieve your dream, why you want to accomplish your goal. Okay. And you don't necessarily have to send a picture to your consultant. Or your director. I just want you to text her and say, hey, I've got my 50. If you want to share the list, great. That's okay too. All right. So we wrote down our pains and we wrote down our pleasures. Which one was easy to write down? I'm assuming for most of us, it was probably a little easier to write down the pleasures than maybe the pain that we've had to acknowledge. But my friends, I want to encourage you to not give into fear. Tammy shared an amazing acronym for fear, and it's fantasized experience that appears real. Okay, that's all fear is. It's fantasized experience that appears real. My friends, it's not even real yet. She hasn't told you no yet. So don't give into that fear. So again, the list, the pleasures, the fear, the pains, like compare them. It's so much easier to write down our pleasures. And so what you've basically started doing tonight is you've started writing down your affirmations. All right. We talk about this a lot in Mary Kay because Mary Kay is honestly just a little bit skills based. Like we can teach you how to, put mascara on and show you where cheek color goes and how to wash your face. So you can teach your customers. But honestly, it's life. It's the things that happen between our brain. It's our affirmations that feed us daily and help remind us why we do what we do, why we're doing what we're doing day in and day out, whether you're getting the yeses or the nos that you thought you were going to get. So what you've done is you've started writing down these affirmations. And so once you get your list of 50, I want you to print this out. I want you to, you can frame it, tape it up by your bed, by like on the mirror in your bathroom, wherever it is. And I want you to say these out loud every morning and every night. And when you do this, it's keeping the dream right in front of you at all times. Your family is going to see it. I mean, if you have family that lives in your house, or maybe you're doing a video call with someone who lives further away. Oh, what's that list? Oh, it's my dreams list. It's my pleasures. What's going to happen when I accomplish my dream? And so maybe you can keep it like as a list on your phone. You can have it typed up on your phone. This is something that would maybe help. Like if you are having a bad day and you're out and about, you're basically going to say it out loud and force feed yourself. And guess what? Then your director doesn't have to do it for you. We don't have to pump it into you. Yes, we love encouraging and supporting you, but the quicker that you learn how to feed yourself your own pleasures, how to help your brain process how to turn from that really crappy day to that happy day, your pleasures are true to you. And so when you are true to yourself, you're going to be able to work through it. Okay. And so I want to talk real quickly before I close out tonight about the law of attraction. This is like what you think about, you bring about. Okay. This is also, it says it in the Bible too. And I have it just in King James Version memorized in my head, but as a man thinketh, so he doeth. Like this is what we think about. That's what happens. And so if you have your list of pleasures that you are reading out loud daily, that is what you're thinking about. That is what you're going to bring about, which is the end goal, the dreams that you're working towards. And so if you are saying things like, people keep ghosting me, my team doesn't want to work, my husband's not supportive, I don't have time, I can't do a business with kids, I can't do a business with a full-time job, all those things, if that is what you're saying to yourself, then it's going to be your reality. Yeah, people are going to ghost you. Yeah, your team's not going to want to work. You're not going to have time. Like Your director can't help you if that is what your mindset is. All right. Lauren Bloomer, she's a top sales director in Mary Kay. She said, if everything that you said were to come true, what would you stop saying and what would you start saying? All right. A little thought for you guys tonight. If everything you said were to come true, what would you stop saying and what would you start saying? All right. So my friends, I love y'all. Let's just go do it. Let's go get our blessings that God has waiting for us when we achieve our goals and dreams. And your pleasures list is not going to include things just for you. There's going to be benefits for your family, for your friends, for your team, for your customers, for your church friends. Like, there's just so many pleasures and blessings coming if we are willing to be faithful to the process. So that is my training and encouragement for y'all tonight.
Holy smokes, you guys. Oh my gosh, Jennifer, this was amazing. And I have to tell you, so my friend Abby was at that same training. Yep. And she did this 50 pleasures list. And like, I can even just tell from being around her, like not even physically around her, just how she's talking about things, how she's acting with things, like how much of a difference looking at that list has made. Like reading that list every day, all of those things has made such a difference for her. And so it is powerful, you guys. And like she said, it's when you get towards that like 30, 40, 50, that all the really good stuff is going to happen. And I also, when you said the quicker you learn to feed yourself, like it changes. I've always heard that in Mary Kay, that the only difference between a consultant to a director to a national is how quickly they pivot, how quickly they, change their thought process with it. And that is so true as well. So you guys, let's open it up, and anything that you would love to share with Jennifer that spoke to you tonight that she shared, you can unmute and share with her what you're taking away from tonight.
First of all, Jennifer, I want to say, I don't know what the word is, proud, I guess, of you and your mental strength, because you've had a rough few days. You've had a rough few days. You're here teaching us, but it helps to hear that from an example. You know what I mean? Because you've been having this rough time, but yet you're still working and you're still, just because life is not going as smooth as you would like for it to be doesn't mean you're going to just stop on what your goals are and your dreams are. And so I appreciate you that you are here doing this for us today. But I loved so much about this. I loved when just the talking about making a choice. It's like, okay, are you choosing pleasure or are you choosing not choosing pain? Yeah. Like, what are you choosing and why are you choosing that? When you're just avoiding the action to get to the pleasure. And I feel like we all do that, and I'll be the first one to admit it's hard when people tell you no. It's hard when people shoot you down. We all feel that way. And so sometimes we avoid that a little bit with people. And so I appreciate that. And I am excited to make my list, my 50, just in the things that while you were talking, and I wrote like my first 10. And I could already tell when I got to like 6, things started getting deeper. And I was like, when you said you get in the 30s, I'm like, oh my goodness, because it was like after 6, I was thinking, oh, this is going to get good. Because I never had the thought to go that far, you always you think you have a goal. Okay. You pick a goal, you pick, short-term goal, long-term goal, those kind of things. But to really break it down that far, to realize what all that goal would mean in your life. So thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Like I said, I can't take credit for everything. A lot of it came from Tammy, but I weaved in and out my own stuff tonight. Yep.
Jennifer, I love kind of what Sherry said, how you talked about the dream and the 50 list, because if you've been in Mary Kay a hot minute, you probably have lost your dream at some point or time, Oh, and I think it's so important, like you said, to keep that dream alive, vivid and fresh, and it's still exciting. And you gave us the way to do that by doing that 50 list so that we don't have to rely on our circumstances or our director or somebody else but it keeps that in front of us and keeps that dream alive. And I love that idea. I can't wait to make my 50 list. And I love, of course, I love affirmations. And so that you said to take those things and make that your affirmation, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to make some new affirmations, like, I'm like, this is going to be fun from this list. Because it really is the dream, you guys. And I'm just so thankful that you taught on this. It's so good. And the law of attraction. Oh, love it. Love it.
Thank you.
I want to agree with everything they said, Jennifer, but I would like to add that this is going to help us to look. When I was at career conference, Tina Holman, she's another national sales director, she said to read the book. How does it go? What do you say when you talk to yourself? And it was the same idea. It's just, what's inside, and what are we avoiding? What are we telling ourselves? And I think this right here is going to help us. It's going to be in front, that 50 list that we have. It's going to be there. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make sure it's on my phone. So if an appointment cancels and I'm dressed and out the door, well, okay, do something else for that time, something Mary Kay related. Just go and do some wand chatting or something like that. So I want to thank you for this. And I've heard Tammy before also, and she is a crackerjack. So thank you for bringing all of this up in front of us and helping us. I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be huge if we take the time to make this list and to put it in places where it needs to be seen. I think it's just going to be huge. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'll be the first to admit, like, just because I've got a list doesn't mean I'm perfect, doesn't mean I get down on myself, but it definitely helps you recover and move forward faster. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, and it always makes me think about, Rachel, when you were talking about this, is that even Mary Kay's quote is, you can do everything wrong with the right attitude and still be successful, Yep. And that's really what it is. It's our mindset. Like you said, Jennifer, we can teach you the skills, and that skills is part of this, but to be so much more is about your mindset, that if you don't have the right mindset, the skill does not necessarily matter with that at all. All right. Anyone else have anything to say to affirm Jennifer and what she shared with us tonight?
I will say something.
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to, I just really like what Jennifer said about just thinking positive thoughts, because I am such a negative Nancy. And so the more negative things that you feed into yourself, the more negative will come out of you. So it's just nice to have a different mindset and, training yourself to think better, and be better.
Absolutely.
And it takes practice. I mean, it does. Like, I don't think it comes naturally to us. Like, there's some statistic of like how many thoughts we have a day, or like the average person, how many are negative versus positive. And like, when you have that negative thought, like it carries with you to the next day. I don't remember what training, I think it was from Lindsay, now Kramer, who had talked about that. But it's true. Like, there's so much negativity. It's like we have to work to reprogram our brain. And what I love in Mary Kay is we've got women who've been in this company for a hot minute that have learned that skill, and then they get to teach it and pass it on to us, because you don't get to hear that type of training in every day-to-day job. But we're definitely blessed to have that, and we're blessed to have you, Sarah, part of our Mary Kay family too.
All right, anyone else? All right, you guys. Well, I'm excited. We will all have to like either share our list or just like Jennifer said, share that we did our list and just be able to cheer each other on and celebrate that and encourage each other with that. Because I know, I mean, it truly will make a difference if we're able, all of us, imagine how many are on here, 28 people. That's 20, what's 28 times 50? We should do that math real fast.
A little over 1,040.
So imagine that thought process that after tonight, we will
1,400.
have the list of 1,000 and some odd 1,400.
Yeah, 1,400. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. It's 1,400.
Holy smoke, you guys, 1,400 pleasures that will be put together on paper tonight by those of us on the call. Like, wow. And what a difference if we're reading those like every single day, what that's going to do, not just for us, but for our families and our spouses, our kids, our friends, like the trickle down effect of this is going to be like monumental in regards to that. So thank you, Jennifer, so much for sharing that tonight, passing that along with us. Whew, it's going to be good, y'all. It's going to be so good. All right, you guys. Well, thank you again so much for being on here tonight, for pouring into yourselves. I know that you guys were not disappointed at all that you hopped on here tonight and got this training from Jennifer. And so thank you guys again. We will be back on, what did I say, December 4th? Is that right? Yes, December 4th for our next All In Family Night, you guys. But make this an amazing November. We're going to have this list. We've got Thanksgiving, all kinds of things to be excited and grateful for. So thank you guys so much for being on. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.